Matt Aguilar with Comic Book, and today I have the pleasure of speaking to AEW Star Swerve Strickland. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Enjoying these the last couple days of rest and relaxation before we get to the big work this Saturday at All In.
Man, it's going to be an epic show. The card is already pretty stacked. Yeah, and you're already in Texas, hanging out and everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yep,
Oh
demolishing
man.
cars and all that in Texas.
There's always the thing. I grew up in Houston, so like I'm always
Yeah,
partial to Texas. It's awesome that All In is setting up shop there, especially last couple years, right? It's been overseas. It's cool for it to be stateside this year. Um,
yeah,
and we're gonna start there because like you said, you got busy, you got stuff to deal with. And the stakes for All In are already it's already one of AEW's kind of premier events. So it doesn't necessarily need more stakes on top of it. But your buddy Will Osprey kind of upped the ante a bit when he started throwing world contention stuff, world title stuff into the
yeah.
mix for your match against the Young Bucks. Uh, you know. What did you do? You kind of feel like you and Will, and even Hangman as well to an extent, are kind of like fighting for the soul of AEW a little bit, just because of kind of who's been in power.
Yeah, we're fighting for the spirit of it and the not just the soul and the spirit of AEW, but the future of AEW. We know that we feel like all three of us probably equally feel like the future of all elite wrestling and the state of what pro wrestling is and what it can still continue to grow into being is all in our hands. I feel like they were the three leaders in our own ways and our own perspectives. We feel like I wouldn't say we work the hardest, but we definitely show the best results more than anybody, and that's why we feel like we feel responsible. You know, Hangman was the only one out of all three of us that's been here since day one. I mean, he was part of the incarnation of All Elite Wrestling. He was responsible for that. So he's linked with the Young Bucks in a lot of ways in that same sense. You know, the responsibility lies on Hangman's shoulders in a lot of ways, which is why he's in the position that he's in. You know, and me and Osprey came in, we're late bloomers to All Elite Wrestling, but in a sense, we felt like we've always been a part of this company because with the spirit and the exception and everything like the grassroots of it was from our independent wrestling days and our international days. So we feel like more attached to it than a lot of other people, you know, that's have been here since day one.
Absolutely. And I mean, I like you said, I know you haven't you or Will haven't been here as long as Hangman, but um, in my mind, and I feel like in a lot of other fans' mind, y'all are synonymous. Y'all, my text is coming in. Y'all are synonymous with AEW, and so it's very much feels that way, and especially in a moment like this. Now, how did you feel about once he threw the because that's a big deal. Not being able to compete for a world title for any amount of time is a big deal. A year
Yeah.
is like 10 years, I feel like in wrestling. It's like, it's like dog and cat
Yeah.
years.
It's
How'd you feel about
a
that?
lot, a lot can happen in a year for one. So much can happen within a year. And like, also like, I would say this stage in our careers, we can't afford to lose a year. You know what I mean? Like with contracts and all that stuff, a year gone away from the world championship or main event scene or any type like that can affect your following year after that. Can affect your following years. It can affect a lot of things. So it's bigger than just like, oh, you won't be able to challenge for the world championship. You can still go after the Continental Classic or the unified title or the TNT title. You go after tag title and stuff. It's like it's a bigger deal than that. It wipes out the main event scene in a way that me and Osprey truly worked so hard over the last 3 years to make ourselves main event stars. You know, it takes that all that hard work undoing for a whole year, and then to have to repair for another year to get right back into that. It's tough. So that's like if you're looking at contract status, it's like 2 3 year contract. That's 2 years gone, and you
Right.
have 1 year left of that. So that it's a bigger deal on a business side that it takes a big hit for our careers, you know. And Will put that on the line because once again it's that spirit and it's that overindulgence of the fact that he knows that how good we are, how great we are together, you know. And it takes two great superstars in combat, one of the greatest tag teams to ever do this.
Right. No, for sure. And it worked, right? The gambit worked to a degree. The match is set.
Yeah.
They put that EVP power on the line. So, props to that as well. And also props for you for, moving through with it, right? In the aftermath of that, we've seen a lot of things on social media about the the little brother status. What have you seen some of those things and you kind of get a kick out of all that?
I do. It shows like the response from the fan base that they understand the relationship and the dynamic between me and Osprey. Like we're more than just friends. Like that, he literally just feels like a little brother because I met him when he was like 18 years old, and I was just seeing like and hearing about this buzz of this kid over in the UK doing like a double moonsault already at 19, 18 years old in London. It's like what? Like he's already doing Sasuke specials. He's already doing all this crazy stuff, and he's already like getting into progress wrestling, and he's already like just getting looks at from Ring of Honor and Dragon Gate USA and all this other stuff. So I was like always a fan of him since then. And like when I would do tours over the UK, he'd be in the cars with us and like Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate and like Trent Seven and like all these guys we would just be all these UK rides and carpools with, and then um I would sleep at his house on this couch with like with his parents and all that stuff and all that stuff. It was really cool. It was like a really awesome experience over there. So like we literally like start from the floor of the living room all the way to like Globe Life Field. So it's really cool. So like I said, he legit always felt like a little brother. Even in times that I had to scold him a couple of times, he would just like puppy dog eyes me. And then like I was like, all right, come in, give me a hug and stuff. But we've been through the ringer for like the last 10 years, but I couldn't be more proud of everything that he's accomplished too. And I've always told people, I'm like, when this kid comes over to USA, everything's gonna change. And then when I knew he was about to sign with All Elite Wrestling, I was like, all right, when he comes over to All Elite Wrestling in his locker room, he's full time, everything's gonna change. And sure enough, all those things happen.
Yeah, and it's been awesome to watch you two cross paths, but also like you guys have been doing your own thing for so long. And so when you guys do kind of eventually collide, whether working alongside each other or against each other, it's always incredibly entertaining. And I feel like it's a showcase
Yeah.
for AEW in so many ways. Something that just happened, was it as fun as it looked to destroy the Bucks limo? You always-
100%, 150%. Anything that clean and like luxurious facing destruction is awesome. And me being like the responsible one for the destruction made it even better. And like I remember they were like, "Oh, you might need a license to control this thing." I'm like, "No, I'm driving this thing today. Like, no, like I'll pay the fine later, but I'm going to drive this. It has to be me." Like, and I just wanted to make sure I wasn't like fiddling with it too much while doing all this stuff and like, oh, how do I open the jaw? All right, go. I learned like a couple moves with it, and I was like, that's all I need. Like, I'll do the rest out there. And then yeah, so but it was a great time. It was awesome. It was fun. I just like truly creating like must-watch TV. As much as I love like the like great in-ring grappling and stuff, also like creating moments. So like I was there when this happened. I remember like the last Dynamite before going into All Ins, Swerve smashing the limousine of the Young Bucks with an excavator. I remember where I was when I saw that. Like these are the next generation of kids that were creating memories of wrestling on
Right.
or like at an early age. So you like I love creating these big, crazy, chaotic moments that they're going to remember and carry on to like their adulthood and then show their kids wrestling too. Because that's what we grew up on, seeing like crazy antics and stuff like that. When I was like 8, 9, 10 years old, we still talk about it to this day and we revisit that stuff. So I always wanted to be one of like, I want to have moments like that. The matches is incredible. I love doing it, but I want to make moments like that that people just are going to always remember.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's something about construction vehicles in particular, I feel like,
Yeah.
and wrestling that make for that just there's just something about it. It's perfect. It always works. And obviously All In is stacked across the board. And I really think there's some great storytelling happening in AEW right now. And on the women's side, I feel like what's been going on with Tony Storm and Mercedes Moné has been fantastic, just across the board. What have you thought of that story that's been playing out? And also, like, who do you think walks out with that world title?
They're the two of the best like chess match players in women's wrestling right now, man. If not wrestling, period. Like you never know what you're going to get with Tony, but she's also another one that believes in moments too, just like I do. She wants to create memorable moments and character pieces that you understand who she is and what she's all about. And Mercedes, on the other hand, is a great counterpart to also react to those moments and those big pieces of character. And she comes in with something else that you like not expecting. That's so her, like a Mercedes, like CEO bringing dinner to watch on the side of the ring, watching matches go on and stuff. That's such a piece of like, oh, that's Mercedes. That's so identifiable to her. It makes once again great moments. So they're both playing the chess match without even like having to like really go at it in the ring yet. Like, you know what I mean? So the anticipation for the match is still there. And I can't really call it, I like the fact that I can't really call who's gonna win that match. I can't predict it because they're two unpredictable talents. And that's the beauty of it. That's why we watch, and that's why we pay the tickets to go see it. That's why it piques our interest as fans that have the investment on that kind of stuff. That's what keeps you wanting to watch. Keeps you wanting to like even after it happens, you want to see the the after effects of those things. So that like sometimes I don't even want to put predictions out because I don't even want to sway anybody else's opinion. I want people to just go in with their own opinion and their own investment. And even if they have no knowledge of it, just watch for the first time. It's going to bring you in.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like these sort of matches, the best thing you can have in going into it is that level of unpredictability. I really have no idea who's walking out with
Right,
that
right.
title, and that's awesome. And it doesn't always get to happen, especially nowadays,
No,
right? When there's so much
we're
information out there and things. It's like
we're,
you
we're
like it.
treated very well. We're treated very well right now as wrestling fans.
Absolutely. And you were talking about moments, and I feel like not even just with construction equipment, but when it comes to gear, when it comes to making an impression going to the ring, like you were one of the best. The Predator gear was out of this world. Black Panther looks in the past, things like that. You're always about maximizing that time and making a moment. What
Mm,
led to the Predator gear? Because that was such a complete thing. Like that was like, the theme, the
yeah.
lasers, all that.
That was like a concept of just like the story of buck hunting, like who's the best hunter out there in the cinematic world, and it's Predator. So it was just like it went two and two to me, hand in hand in that kind of sense. So I always try to tell a story with my entrances, whatever like that minute to 30 seconds to 2 minutes, there's a story being told, there's a narrative being in place, and I just like to like connect to something with like that the pop culture fan base will be identifying with, but also make it me and like find swerve in that sense as well. So it's a lot of playing around with those kind of concepts and ideas. Like Static Shock was something that was always a big fan of, and IP is like up in the air. Nobody knows if they want to use it yet or not. And hey, I'm on, I'm on a little chat. We were just speaking about you. Little guest appearance.
What's up?
Full side. Yeah. We're just
Man, love the
we're
hat.
just talking about everything leading into the Saturday and yeah. Yes, sir. Get it. Yes, sir.
Amazing.
Oh yeah. So yeah, yeah, so it's just like I just love storytelling and I like to find different unique ways to tell stories. If it could be in my gear, like if you go back to All Out last year, the cage match was my whole gear was the story of my house being burnt down by enemy. You know,
Yes.
my Tron now, like if you look at Hangman's Tron, it's the outside of my house burning. And then if you look at my Tron now, it's the inside tour. of the house being burnt down. So there's like a lot of levels of connections and everything, so there's a lot of things like that. Like if you look close enough, you'll find like little nuggets and like little cool things, which is a credit to like me being a fan of Bray Wyatt. He used to always tell like a little story and then leave a nugget somewhere in the fun house and somewhere or like in his gear or match or like this was synonymous to this. This links to this. If you look at that QR code, it brings you to this message and stuff like that. So I was always a fan of those little things, but I could never get that intricately deep in that. So I would always just try to find like my interesting ways of telling it, very a little bit of depth, but enough surface level that everybody can like kind of just look at it and be like, have fun with that. And then go on social media and like connect the dots in some ways.
Yeah, and it's so interesting too that you were mentioning like we're still getting like pieces of that story now, right? You found a way to integrate it, and we're still even working with it to a degree because like Moxley brings up the house, right? And like works that into a thing of, what'd you think about him saying that Hangman should not have apologized for burning the house? Like that's just rude.
He's anarchy. He likes anarchy. He wants to see he wants to see one guy do something and the other guy retaliate, and then other guy retaliate back. He likes that kind of stuff, which is like still insulting to me in a lot of ways because it's like very personal to me. But he that's what Death Riders are all about. Like chaos incites chaos, incites chaos, incites chaos.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you take something to the point of burning someone's house down, an apology is at least due. So I just it's the least you can do. um, if we get to that point, I did want to bring out. I know I gotta let you go here in a minute, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate the time. The swerve, the answer threes, those are those are awesome looking. Those things look so cool, and I know the reception's been really good for the shoes overall. Reebok has been kind of knocking those out of the park. How did that whole collaboration come about? Because I mean,
Yeah.
for other colorways and Static Shocks right there. And
Yeah, I mean, like, well, that's the thing. It's like it was just like a opportunity to like they wanted to collab with an actual athlete, and they felt like Allen Iverson and then Reebok was like such a big deal. And if you see like what Reebok is about to be doing now with Shaq and Allen Iverson is trying to really truly rebrand Reebok, and Angel Reese is getting her own Reebok shoe and stuff.
those things look good.
So it's just finding like um the right person, and they felt like I was like when the franchise of All Elite Wrestling, they felt like I was the right person for that. And I was like, I took up the opportunity as soon as possible. I was truly grateful for the opportunity. Allen Iverson co-signed and like really put a lot of support behind it. He still does. And it was I still it's also the shoe tells a story. It was like the Dynasty Killmonger gear, inspired Killmonger gear that when I won became the first Black World Champion and became you know, made history with it. So it's now like fans get to share a piece of that history on their feet. People want to wear these kind of things. So it's like, how about we merchandise something that fans can truly share and support a big moment in the company's history. And so like I remember I was watching the history of the black quarterback, and they were interviewing Doug Williams, who was the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl in the NFL. And they were like asking about legacy, like how do you know that you like truly made an impact in something? And he's like, let me ask you this: if they can write the history book of this company, can they leave your name out of it? And I always wanted to make sure, like, okay, I got to do everything I can to like stamp my name in something that's like, if you write the history of all the wrestling, Swerve cannot be like left out of that history. Like, I have to be part of that. So like, I feel like all of that moment and that shoe like kind of cements that because like you can take that moment anywhere you can go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that also goes into the recent reveal. I think it was even just yesterday, the day before. Your Comic-Con exclusive figure from Jazzwares
Yeah.
is like another like bringing moments to life, right? In figure form. You just had another figure
Yeah.
release, man, even like this month. I
Yeah,
mean,
like I was
does it get
saying
old?
2 months ago.
Yeah, does it get
No,
old seeing
no,
like those moments in figure form?
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Like that's what they call me the franchise for a reason. Because it's like truly I truly want like put a lot of like energy and pressure on myself and uh effort into maintaining and then try to like exceed the expectations of myself that people are like. Because when I came into All Elite Wrestling, I always say like I feel like I had just as much opportunity as just anybody else. Like I was on level playing field with everybody else that came into the company that year or the year prior. You know, like I did the dark matches, I did Ring of Honor, and opened the first Ring of Honor pay per view under Tony Khan. You know, I did Rampage, I won tag titles, I did Collision. I did the pre-shows for Forbidden Door. I went from pre-show the year before and Forbidden Door to main eventing it the year after. You know, so like I had just as much opportunity or a chance as anybody else, if not sometimes lower. And I still found a way to make it work because it wasn't about just like, oh, I did X, Y, and Z. No, I was just myself. I was my genuine, authentic self, and I just believed in the product that much. And I get to reap the rewards and the benefits from it, like the shoes and the action figures, and the opportunities that I get at All In, and like the shoot, like the shirts and all this stuff. Like I truly earned that because you can't say nothing was handed to me. I'm not a third or fourth generation star. Nobody in my family knows about wrestling really. I was the only one, So I like when I do get these opportunities, I damn well deserve them. Yes.
No. Well, yeah, I can't thank you enough for the time. All the best success. You don't need it from me. I feel like you've already got a chapter in that book. And but we're gonna see what happens from here on out. And I just gotta say, this isn't even a question, but Out of Control, that's a banger. I dig it.
Thank you.
It's in my
Thank you.
playlist. It's in the playlist. So
July 11th, we got another one coming called Emmett. Every move made includes the team, me and my TV. So check that out. That's coming up this Friday.
awesome. Man, thank you so much. All the best success at All In. I can't wait to see what comes next. And of course, you can check out all of our coverage on AEW and All In right here on Comicbook.